So have a nice day to all of you. Today, I'm going to talk with you about another very interesting topic under the CDC lecture series. So that we already have the idea about the demand and supply, consumer behavior, supply behavior, all. So with that, now we are moving to identify different marker structures. So that here that under if we consider about the microeconomics, so that under microeconomics, large number of, that means more weight goes to these marker structures. So under these marker structures that we have to focus about the different markers like the perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. So then we have to learn about the different characteristics of each and every market, so that how the perfect competition differ from monopoly, and how monopoly differ from monopolistic competition and oligopoly. So as well as that we have to focus about how they determine the profit with relate to the short run and with relate to the long run. But apart from that, if we consider about the oligopoly market structure, we not bother about to find out the how the sellers or that producers become equilibrium within short run and long run. There we really focus about the different models introduced by the Paul M. Soisi, the King demand curve model, then the Carter and the price leadership model. So likewise, different models other than to the oligopoly market structure under the perfect competition, monopoly, and monopolistic competition, that we have to consider about how as the seller and the producer, how they maximize their profit with relate to short run and long run. So that first, before moving to identify those different market structures under under the topic of market structures, we'll see first what is a market, right? What is a market? So that we normally to purchase goods and services that will go to market, right? So that market may be the fair or the boutique or the supermarket. So whatever the place that the purpose is to purchase good or a service from the customer viewpoint. But in contrast to that, the supplier viewpoint, right? Their objective, their aim is to sell out the good or service. So therefore that we can identify market is a place. Right? Market is a place where two parties. Who are the two parties? Demanders and the suppliers. The two parties are demanders and the suppliers, or we call sellers. Demanders and the suppliers or sellers, right? The demanders means actually the customers. We are the demanding customers and sellers. So that can gather to facilitate or to exchange a good or service. So that is a place where two parties meet together. Two parties meet together and come to the common agreement. The purchaser also wish to purchase that particular good or service under the determined price by the seller. Seller also wish to sell out that particular product under their determined price, so that purchaser or the customer willing to purchase as well as the seller wish to sell out. They come to the common agreement. They agreed to whatever the price determined in the market. On that price, they wish to purchase and sell out. They come to the common agreement on the price. So the parties involved are usually buyers and sellers, or the demanders or suppliers, or customers and sellers. So that the market may be physical location, like the retail outlet, then the wholesale outlet, or maybe the fair, or maybe the supermarket. So the sort of physical location. But nowadays can see that we without meeting face to face, right? The buyers and sellers without meeting face to face. There are some methods nowadays that we can purchase goods and services, like the virtual or the online market, virtual or online market. So that therefore that online market also now we consider as a market. There are also the buyers and sellers come to the common agreement. They agree to purchase whatever the determined price by the seller, and the purchaser or the buyer think that that is worthwhile. That is worthwhile for that amount, for that price. So that's why that he wished to purchase it. If it is not worthwhile for him, he will not purchase that. So that consumers feel that it is worthwhile for that determined price, and also the sellers feel that this is the amount that we have to sell out. So that those common agreement, based on that common agreement, both parties, both sellers and buyers, come to the common agreement to purchase good or service. Now, not only the physical, therefore, not only the physical outlets, so physical places, but also that virtual or the online mode also we can consider as the marketplace. So then there are different methods. Maybe that being millennials, being freelancers, or being millennials, that you all are very techno savvy. So you may all aware about these different apps, that how can you use to purchase online goods or services. So through eBay. Then in Sri Lankan context, you know that is very famous popular mode called Daras. Then Alibaba Express, right? Even the marketplace also. So that there are different online modes to purchase goods and services, right? So that after having the idea about what does mean by the market, then we'll see what does mean by this market structure. Right? Market structure is actually that there are some interconnected characteristics. Interconnected under that, when we are considering about the market structures, that we are concerned about the number of sellers and buyers in the market. So there may be, if we consider about that egg market, or the vegetable market, so that big onion, then the potato, like that, the fish market. So there are a large number of sellers. So as well as if we consider about the, in contrast to that, if we consider about that CEB, electricity board. So that if you want to purchase that the units of power, units of that, even the good or service, we consider as the good, not only the commodities, not only the goods, but even services also we consider. Right? So that marketplace. And then we consider about, other than to the service, that like the gas, shell gas or laugh gas. Right? So that we know that there's only two sellers in the market. right? Two sellers, a very few sellers in the market. So that's why that if they not order, so that if they face with any issue, that as consumers, that we also, I think that we all have that experience. That the previously that how we suffer without having the proper glass cylinders, not gas, right? So then if there's only two sellers or one seller in the market, how is the behavior? So that when we are identifying different market structures, that we are concerning about these criteria, the number of sellers in the market and relative strength of those people. So that being single seller or the two sellers in the market, so that what sort of ability, what sort of power they already have to influence price, to determine price. So that not like that if we consider about that vegetable market or the paddy market or the rice market or the big onion market. So is the similar power that if one seller think to sell out the egg to 20 rupees. Nowadays, you know that there are a big issue with regard to this egg prices. That the government imposed the price release and price floors different times. So then how it affect? So is there any possibility to single seller can he determine the price of that particular commodity? So that is strength of the buyers and sellers. Then degree of freedom to enter into the market. The next characteristics, degree of freedom. So whether there's easy exit and easy entry. So that say for example, if you wish to open up a store, that you feel that you want to sell out some eggs, or maybe sometimes the pieces of carrots or the onions likewise. Then no matter that you the very low initial cost that you need, you just can take some the table or some sort of box and you can put the eggs there and you can sell it. No need to take any that approvals. But in contrast to that, if you want to start up a bar, liquor store, then if you want to start up a petrol shed, and if you want to start up a pharmacy, can you follow the same procedure? Definitely cannot. But you have to apply, you have to receive, you have to go through different procedures. Then you have to take the approvals from the relevant authorities. Maybe sometimes you have to apply for the license. You have to take the patent right. So likewise, there are some restrictions that you cannot easily enter into the market. Maybe sometimes you need some strategic techniques. Maybe sometimes you need huge capital to start up that business. So that based on those different characteristics, that we can determine whether it is easy to enter into the market or difficult, right? Difficult. So that once you, difficult means that there may be some barriers like that. Entry barriers as well as exit barriers also. So that means that if we consider the previous case, that egg case, so that you feel that is so bored that no one may be due to this the price war, that price war that between the egg producers and the government and the sellers, so that nowadays no one consume the eggs. So therefore that you just keep the box of eggs in front of your house the whole day, and then no one come to purchase from you. Then you just frustrated and bored. Then you decided not to continue that. So that no matter that you can take back the box of eggs to house, and that you can eat, or maybe that you can use all these eggs for your purpose, and that you can shut down your business. But not like that. If you enter to the market, like the pharmaceutical market, or maybe the petrol, or like the bar, so that once you start, that you cannot easily or the gas supply, or the gas cylinder supply. So likewise, that you cannot easily exit from the market. So that's why we consider what sort of the degree of freedom, how much of freedom is there. There are so many barriers to entry into the market, or less barriers, more barriers, few barriers. So likewise, the gravity of the freedom to entry and exit. And also that the forms competitions, right? So that maybe that if we consider about the competition between the rival firms, if there's large number of firms, so there may be huge competition among sellers. So if someone follow some sort of strategy, so others also look at that one, and they also try to imitate. They also want to follow. If someone is reduced price, the others also that reduce price with the hope of to increase market share. So otherwise, if they not reduce their prices, they will lose their market share. So therefore, there may be that higher level of competition among the firms. But then if we consider about the gas market, we can see there's only two sellers, like duopoly. Two sellers in the market. There's no much competition. Then if we consider about the oligopoly market structures, there may be some cartels, like the OPEC organization. The OPEC organization that you can see, they already have some sort of secret agreements between among member countries, so that they all agree to sell out the determined price. Therefore, that they can prevent the price wars among oil producing countries. So likewise, if we consider about the competition, there may be huge competition in some market, but that is very less in some market. So that's why to identify those characteristics separately, that we have to concern about these characteristics. So based on these core criteria, that we can identify different marker structures, right? Different marker structures. Then the last one is the product differentiation. So that there may be some product. Some sellers, they already produce the similar product, the similar type of products that we call homogeneous products, right? So homogeneous product, they all are similar in all aspects. Homogeneous products, that means if we consider about, so for example, that agricultural product, that eggs, maybe the potato, the potato, so that we cannot differentiate this one is from the Matale, this one is from Nuarelia. Likewise, because that all the products are similar in nature. their quality, their taste, all are similar. But if we consider about the different type of toothpaste, different type of toothpaste, so that maybe that even though that we are using for same purpose to brush our teeth, to brush our teeth, so there are different type of toothpaste. So some are made by using the native product, the domestic things. So like the Sudanta that I use, likewise some sort of Ayurvedic toothpaste. There may be some different type of toothpaste like the Sensodyne, then the herbal are different. Then the Signal, Clogard. So likewise, if we consider about the varieties of the toothpaste, even though the main purpose is similar, the products may be differ. They use different type of the advertisements, the promotions to promote their products. Not like the weak onion or the potato, so that you know that we cannot see any sort of advertisement with regard to to selling potato, to selling onion. So that here that we can identify different differentiation among product. And that differentiations among product, there may be some, in some markets, there may be some similar products. There are in some markets, differentiation product. In some markets, standardized product. So likewise, that we can identify different markets characteristics, different market characteristics. So based on these different market characteristics that we can identify basically this perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly market structures. Right? Oligopoly market structures here. So what are the main characteristics? The number of firms, the nature of the product, degree of power, or the freedom to entry and exit, then how they can influence the price, then what sort of profit levels, because that if we consider about some organization, even for short run and long run, for both time periods, that they are earning supernormal profits. But when we consider about some market structures, for short run only, that they are earning supernormal profit, but for long run, that they are earning only normal profit or profit levels. So then pricing strategies, right? Then whether they act as the price takers or price makers. So what sort of competition among them? So likewise, that impact of efficiency, that when we compared about the different markers, how they helpful, that how they healthy for the smooth functioning of the society, whether there is any exploitation or whether there is when the price makers or being a price takers, how they act, those activities, how impact to the society. So those are the things that we are considering about the when we are identifying about different market structures, right? So here that if we consider about the market structures, as I said, that basically we identify these 4 market structures, right? The perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and the oligopoly. It's going to be called Purna Taranga, Ekadhikarya, Ekadhikari Tharange Saha, Katipayadhikari, within the pol. Kota here. Then actually that we can classify, right? That we can classify different market structures based on different criteria. Different market structures based on different criteria. So if we consider about the customer base, so the customer base, so that we know we can identify basically the retail markets and the wholesale market, right? Then if we consider about the geographical location, so that under the geographical locations that we can identify that domestic market and the international market, right? International market. Then if we consider about the nature of the product, based on the nature of the product, that we can identify like the goods and service, good market or commodity market, then the service market, then the money market. So likewise, based on different criteria, that we can classify, we can identify different market structures. So, but based on the competitiveness, right? So that here we are going to learn 4 different market structures, how we classify those 4 different market structure only based on the competitiveness, right? Competitiveness. So if we consider about the continuum of the competitiveness, the continuum means that here that we can identify 2 extreme ends and so let's be in between that different range, right? Different range, within this range that any market can locate, right? So that here if we consider about the competition from left to right, here more competitive so that here that there may be very large number of sellers and buyers in the market, therefore that in that market more competitiveness can be seen. So that market we identify perfect competition. On the other extreme, in contrast to that, the other extreme is the less competition. Here the more competition, here the less competition. If we consider about this extreme, here that's very few number of sellers, maybe only single seller or few sellers in the market. Here more sellers. So that's why the huge competition is there. But if there's very limited very few number of sellers, then the competition will not exist. So that based on this competitiveness, we can identify basically these 4 different market structures. Then if we put those markers into this continuum, that here normally that we identify this as it is imperfect competition. Under this imperfect competition, here the perfect competition, here the monopoly. In between that we can identify imperfect competition. So under the imperfect competition that we can identify monopolistic competitive market structure and the oligopoly market structure, right? Oligopoly and monopolistic competitive market structure. The characteristics, so that you can see here the perfect competition. Next, the monopolistic competition. It is very closer to perfect competition. Very closer to perfect competition. Therefore, we can identify the similar characteristics. Similar characteristics what we discuss under the perfect competition, what we are going to discuss today under perfect competition. So that there may be some similar characteristic if we consider about the monopolistic competition. But this oligopoly is somewhat closer to monopoly. Here the monopoly is single seller, duopoly means two sellers, right? So both considered as under the monopoly. So that is somewhat closer to monopoly market structure. Therefore, normally that here under the oligopoly market structures, we can see that we can identify most of the monopoly markets characteristics, right? Monopoly market characteristics. So then, while having idea about that, here better if we can talk with these four market structures based on the different products. So that may be very much easy to understand. That you can easily grasp the points if we consider about more practically, if we think more practically, right? So the perfect competition, most of the time that we consider about the agricultural product, right? Agricultural product. So that here we consider it as the vegetable market or we call egg market. The sometimes that practical examples that we can give, that vegetable market, then the egg market, fish market, then the meat market, then the fresh milk market. So all comes under this perfect competition, right? That when you learn about these market structures, maybe sometimes that if you read more, if you want to get a, not want, you have to get a, you have to enrich your knowledge and enhance your knowledge while gathering more reading materials. When you refer more reading materials or textbooks that you can identify under the perfect competition, that a pure competition also. That is somewhat beyond the reality, right? But that we have to learn these market structures as the benchmark market structures. So because that we can compare, we can easily identify the other market structures very well. So that you have to concern about the pure perfect competition also, then how it differ, the pure perfect competition differ from the perfect competition, right? So then some sort of agricultural product. Then if we consider about the monopoly market structures with reference to the Sri Lankan context, that we can identify the railway. Then the CEB, then what we call, so even the LAF also, some sort of gas, there's duopoly, like the Shell and the LAF, but that we consider there's some sort of monopoly power. Water board, all the sort of giant organizations that we can identify as a monopolist. Then if we consider about the monopolistic competition market structures, so like different restaurants, then the retail houses, then the saloons. So all these things we consider under the monopolistic competition. Then if we consider about oligopoly market structures, most are which relate to the oil market, then the steel market, so the cement market. So that sort of market structures. Good commodities comes under the oligopoly market structure. So then after having basic idea about the different market structures, we'll move to identify the first out of the first four market structures. Then we move to identify the perfect competitive market structure. Another perfect competition that I wish to talk with you about different characteristics, then how they become equilibrium with relate to the short run and with relate to the long run, the comparison between the other market structures, all these things that I'm going to talk with you under this session. Right? So that here, by looking at this photo, right, that you can see that different foods market, then the vegetable market, so that under as these some sort of examples which will be the perfect competition. So if we consider about the perfectly competitive market structure, so what are the characteristics, right? So what are the characteristics that we can identify under perfectly competitive market structure? So based on the different criteria, like the number of sellers, then the barriers to a degree of freedom, then the nature of the product, the profit level. So that if we consider about those criteria, so based on those criteria that we can identify specifically with relate to perfect competition, the characteristics. So if we consider about that easy to identify, if we consider about the egg market. Egg market or vegetable market. Right? So that you know that if we consider about the vegetable market or market, so there are large number of sellers. Large number of sellers in the market. We teach you this one. Please, for a while we keep it aside, right? So that if we consider about the number of firms, there are large number of firms in the market, right? As I said earlier also, that if we consider about the degree of freedom, so very easily can enter into the market. There's no any barriers to entry as well as exit. So if they wish to start up a business, they easily can enter into the market with low investment cost. No need high technology. No need the strategic ownership of resources. So that with the very limited income or the investment that we can start up the business. And also no need to follow the huge procedures. There's no any red tapes. So there's no any barriers. They don't need to take license, patents. So government not specifically impose any rules and regulations to start up business. So likewise, there's very freedom to entry as well as exit. They cannot survive in the market. They can easily switch off. They can stop their business. And if we consider about the products the nature of the products. Nature of the product. The products are identical in nature. Identical in nature, or we call homogeneous. Homogeneous products. Right? Homogeneous products. So the homogeneous products means, I think that I already explained. Price, there are a large number of firms in the market, and also products are identical in nature. So that means they all are, though they all are similar in nature. That if you pick one piece of carrot from the market, so that we cannot tell exactly so from where. So it comes to market, whether that one already in the Bandaravela or maybe the Nuvareliya, so that we cannot identify. But if we take one piece of toothpaste or one piece of soap, so that they are already labeled which one is the producer, the price of the product, all the things already contain the ingredients, how to use that, all these things well aware. But if we consider about that vegetable or the rice, so that they all are identical in nature. There's no any differences, indistinguishable. Distinguishable means that that may be differ. Indistinguishable means that that is not differ from any competitors' product. No any variations. Similar in nature. Similar in nature. All are identical in nature. So there is complete information. Complete information. So that means they're all well aware about all the things. The prices. The prices, that's why that the single seller, that say for example, if we consider about the fair, in one corner of the fair, the onion, if the 1 kilo of onion maybe that they sell out at 200 rupees, all the other places that is only 200, that may be 250, so that quickly they all get to know about these price variations. So that's therefore that, and also there's large number of sellers in the market, so they cannot increase like that, because no one, if they increase price, no one want to purchase from that particular seller, right? So therefore, if they decrease, what will happen? The others also quickly get to know about this price strategy. The others also try to reduce the price. Then not only this price and maybe available technology, then the different price strategies, different different technologies that they are using. So all these things that well aware. Right? So that, and also the perfect factor mobilization. Pradhana Purna Sancharatava. Perfect factor. Sadhaka Purna Sancharatava. Yukta. Nishpadana Sadhaka Purna Sancharatava Yukta. Perfect factor mobilization. Perfect factor mobilization. That means factors of production can be changed from one industry to another industry very easily. So that if they want to cultivate a big onion and they feel that they want to change from that to potato or leeks cultivate, then they easily can shift all these factors of production. Right? All these factors of production to other market. So that is the perfect factor mobilization. Then the firms are profit maximizers. That means that always. We know that is not only to common, only to the perfect competitive market structure. So, but also for each and every market. Being rational producers. They all want to minimize their profit as well as to maximize their profit. So then, and the last characteristics, barriers to entry. There may be huge barriers, right? So that social barriers, political barriers, economic barriers. So that may be sometimes huge initial cost. Then the huge initial cost. Then the government impose some rules and regulations, legal barriers, patent that you have to apply for patent like a license, or likewise there may be some barriers in some markets when we are entering into the market. But if you consider perfect competition, there's no such barriers exist. So then if you consider about some examples that you can see here, different that vegetable market, then the fresh milk market, fruit market, flower market, all markets we can consider as the perfect competitive markets. So then the first characteristics. So if we consider about the characteristics that you can see here, so what is the first characteristics? I ask you to keep aside for a while. Both buyers and sellers are price takers. Buyers and sellers are price takers. So that here that we can identify what does mean by this price takership. Price takership. So there's large number of sellers in the market. There are large number of sellers in the market. The single seller cannot influence the determination of price. Right, that they are producing a negligible portion when we compare the total production. Compared to the total production of the market, that they are producing a very small amount, or a small quantity. So therefore, they even though they produce or not, sometimes if you feel that I want to increase price, otherwise I will not produce, then that is not actually impact. It has no any impact over market. So that because that they are producing very negligible portion or negligible amount or the very little quantity when compared to the whole market. Therefore, they cannot determine the price. So then who is determining price? The market. Therefore, the market will determine the price of the particular product. So then market is actually that as I explain you under the demand and supply, the summation. The summation of the suppliers is the market supply, the individual supplies. The horizontal summation of the buyers, the demanders, will make the market demand. So that here through the market will represent the whole suppliers in the market and all demanders in the market. Then therefore through demand and supply, they will determine the price. Then what the single firm can do? They have to take as it is determined price by the market structure, right? Determine price by the market structure. Therefore, they have to sell out their product under given, say for example, a given market price determined by the market, right? Given no determined by the market, that price as it is, they have to follow as individual firm, right? As individual firm. So then, but you have to keep in mind another thing, that any amount that they can produce under the given price. Therefore, that in some cases, maybe if you refer the textbooks, that they already mentioned this, the individual firm, therefore the individual firm will act as the price taker and the quantity adjuster. මිල ගණුවකු සහ ප්‍රමාණ ගලපන්නකු. මිල ගණුවකු සහ ප්‍රමාණ ගලපන්නකු විදියට. The price taker or the quantity adjuster. So that means based on the given price. Based on the given price, while considering the cost behavior, the single firm can produce any amount. Any amount. So that here that another important thing that you have to keep in mind, therefore the individual firm's demand curve lies parallel to horizontal axis, having perfectly elastic, right? Perfectly elastic valley, infinity, right? Perfectly elastic valley, right? So then here this price we identify it as a demand curve, as well as for this one that here we can label it as the MR curve and the average revenue curve as well, right? Then I will prove you why we call for same price curve or the demand curve as MR curve or AR curve, right? MR curve or AR curve. So then, okay, no example. Then I will take the example and teach you. Say for example, the quantity. The quantity may be differ as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then if we consider about the price, so the price will not change, right? So the determined price, say for example, is equal to 20. So right, even though in that you produce any number of product that you can sell out that amount at 20 rupees, right? At 20 rupees. Then if you want to find out the TR, total revenue, how we calculate total revenue? TR is price into quantity. Price into quantity. That means 20 price into quantity means 40, 60, 80, and 20 into 5 means 100. Then if you want to calculate average revenue, how we calculate average revenue? Average revenue means TR, total revenue, divided by Q. So that means total revenue 20 divided by 1 means 20. Then 40 divided by 2 means again 20. 60 divided by 3 means 20. 80 divided by 4 means 20. 100 divided by 5 means again 20. Then if you want to calculate the marginal revenue, then how do we calculate? How do we calculate marginal revenue? So the marginal revenue means delta TR divided by delta Q. Delta TR divided by delta Q. Here the difference. So that to produce one extra unit. Then when if you sell out one extra unit of output, then how much we can additionally derive as additional revenue. When you sell out one extra unit of output, an extra unit of output, additional revenue that we earn. Additional revenue that we earn identified as the marginal revenue. Additional revenue that we earn from additional quantity, right? Or the extra quantity. So that from one product that we earn 20, by selling out second one that we earn 40. Right? So then by selling out extra one unit, how much we additionally earn? 20. So delta TR, difference of total revenue divided by delta Q, delta TR divided by delta Q, right? From 2 to 3. So the extra one unit. Here that how much we derive as marginal revenue, again 20, right? So from here, if we calculate the extra 20. So likewise, if we calculate the marginal revenue, so how much the marginal revenue, that is equals to exactly 20. So then here we can learn, we can conclude by looking at this table. The price equals to 20, then the AR also equals to 20, then marginal revenue also equals to 20. So that we can identify how, if we consider about the individual demand curve, how it represents similar values for price, demand, average revenue, and marginal revenue. So that's why we identify this curve as the demand curve, price curve, marginal revenue curve, and the average revenue curve. Right? So then we'll move to identify the profit maximization. Right, profit maximization. So as we all aware about the profit maximization, that the condition, profit maximization condition is the where the marginal revenue should be equals to marginal cost, right? Marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. Then by looking at this one, that we can have idea about the how that we can earn the profit and loss likewise. Then here that actually this part, I think that we can talk next day, so that from here onwards, that how can we calculate the profit by using different approaches, right? What is the short run and long run profit maximization. So these things that we discuss from the next session. Right? So thank you very much for attentive listening. Then we'll see from the another lecture series, and we'll continue from there. So thank you very much.